good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you are tapping in from. You got to keep in mind that Keep It P podcast is a global show, and today we will be discussing at least 4 people were killed in a Tulsa, Oklahoma hospital campus shooting. And I want to piggyback on the police have confirmed 10 shot in South Carolina shooting. Also, one of 14 mass shootings just over Memorial Day weekend, bringing the grand total of mass shootings in the United States of America to over 20 in the last 14 days, averaging more than one mass shooting per day in America. We'll be talking about that and more when we come back after these brief messages on this episode of Keep It P Podcast, Hold the Mayo Edition. Yay, yay.
Music teasing.
The fucking best.
Welcome to the Keep It P podcast, where we take news, situations, and everyday occurrences, and we show how one could or cannot be keeping it P. Today, I am your host, TZ Von Savage, in the place to be. Sucker MCs. Self-hug, self-love, that is a beatbox and a b-boy stance. You may have thought that was corny, but what's even more corny is if we let the culture die, y'all. What's even more corny is how y'all let them try to paint all the black people as doing all the fake Asian crime. That was corny, America. Not my intro. Let's get into just so many shootings. We're going to end up forgetting about anti-black racism. Reparations go to the sideline. Just all of a sudden, this ain't the first time we've had a lot of shootings. I'm just saying. You didn't do nothing before. Reparations, maybe? Let's get into this, what you came here for. Fair use. Hold on. We got Buster Brown's fair use. Did y'all see that? Okay. Right. Listen up.
I'm Deputy Chief Eric Dalgleish with the Tulsa Police Department. I'm going to give you what I can right now, reference the call here at the Natalie Medical Building. It will be probably pretty limited. I will attempt to take some questions after everybody has spoken, but giving you that warning ahead of time, the information is still very new and very limited. At 16:52, 4:52 hours, our dispatch received a call of an active shooter at the Natalie Medical Building at 6457 South Yale Avenue. We had officers arrive at the location at 4:56, so a 3-minute response time, and made contact with victims and the suspect at 5:01. And that was them making their way to the second floor. The officers
this is little kids.
were hearing shots in the building, and that's what directed them to the second floor. Right now, we have 4 civilians that are dead. We have 1 shooter that is dead, and right now, we believe that is self-inflicted. Officers have not been interviewed, but we're certain that's a self-inflicted gunshot wound on his part.
How
The
you
scene
know?
is fairly limited. to one section of that floor on the second
Why ain't you
floor.
saying allegedly?
And officers are currently and detectives interviewing witnesses that were throughout the building, and especially those on the second floor. No officers were injured. We have a reunification center set up at Memorial High School in the auditorium on the north end of Memorial High School for families that may have had somebody in this building at the time and have not been able to make contact. That is a location they can check in with for information. Right now, the suspect, we do not have an identity. That we believe we're getting close on the identity of the suspect. He is a black male, estimated to be 35 to 40 years old, and we have confirmed he had one long gun, a rifle, and one handgun on the scene.
I knew when they said that he had killed himself, and they knew for sure.
Can we
that
confirm?
he killed
I'll come back
himself.
for those questions.
Okay, and this is why
What was yours?
I got
You
this
said
footage.
5 people total dead.
Yes.
I actually got this right away. So I knew about this. He said it was like 4, almost 5 o'clock, 4:45, 47. I'm in between in that time. So almost 5 o'clock, right before 5 o'clock. I knew the name. I got the information. I knew the name. As soon as I heard the name and the location, I was like, "Ooh, he's black." And then boom, he's not alive. And right away, oh, it was self-inflicted. But you don't know. You don't know. So it's funny to me how all of a sudden now you like, I don't have no details. We haven't interviewed not one officer, but we know without question, without reservation, and there's not even no allegedly. Remember, I'm saying, what's up with the allegedly? How come there was no allegedly? You just all of a sudden know. When it's black, you know. There's no alleged. We got facts here. We got facts here. You know for sure. And that's the only part you knew that was for sure. Is that he was black.
4 innocents, 1 shooter.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm Dr. Cliff Robertson. I'm the CEO of the St. Francis Health System. And as you can imagine,
when the gunman, when the alleged gunman is black, see how fast they got in there? You see how long it was some kids in a school, and it took them an hour to get in there. This was done and over from the time the call came 15 minutes later. This was a done deal. You ain't had to think about nothing. You wasn't worried about the lives of your officers. You didn't have to protect them. They went in there, guns blazing. We're the heroes. We're gonna figure it out. But when it was some kids, you had to strategize and think about it and come up with a plan. You wasn't sure. But if it's black, you coming in there, guns blazing, we got this, take them out.
we're an organization that believes in the power of prayer, and there is nothing more this community could do for us than to pray for the families and the loved ones and the victims of this senseless act. I can't stand here and not thank the first responders in this city.
Oh my
We
goodness.
look around us. the response has been incredible, and I don't know that I've truly understood just how important our first responders can be and are every day. There will obviously be many questions, and there will be a very...
I ain't even gonna be able to do it, Chief.
Have come to work every day to save the lives of people in our community. Just in the last few years, in the greatest public health crisis that our city has ever had to face, this has been the facility more than any other that has worked to save the lives.
I ain't even gonna hold y'all with that. I might tap in for a couple more seconds. Over the weekend, though, Memorial Day, 15 shootings. From Saturday until Monday, at least 60 people were reported to have been injured in mass shootings, while 9 others were killed. Gun Violence Archive reported. Daily holiday weekends, especially during the summer, are often associated with spikes in gun violence. Will y'all notice? You know what? You know what's so funny about Dub S? They always know the problems. They always can pinpoint exactly what the problem is. But the problem is they never gonna fix it because they create said problem. The grim numbers came less than a week after 21 people. That's why I said already, if you count up all the numbers, and that's even more. Oh, we ain't even counting all the injuries from the mass shootings. We ain't even counting all of those at all. And then you got Kumala. She want to talk about this, that, and the third. I ain't gonna read that. I ain't gonna read that. Y'all know about the 10 black people, rest in peace, that was killed in the only racist attack out of all these mass shootings. We ain't gonna speak on that. That there was only one that was racially motivated. We ain't gonna speak on that, right? Sweep that under the rug, because what we don't want to talk about is anti-black racism. And what we are going to talk about is this gun violence. Anything to get off the reparations. How about run that check, and we'll figure it out on our side. And then we'll see how our numbers work and see how your numbers work. We not running in shooting up no schools, P. That's not what we doing. Let this bluffer get off a little bit more, and then a little bit more hot air, and then I'm tapping out. I just wanted to let y'all know about all the shootings that's going on before they try to tell you. Let me give y'all the numbers first. Remember, shout out Jay Lava. Ain't trying to tell you. No, we ain't trying to tell you what to think. No. Trying to show you how to think. Hello, McFlizzle.
People in this city. I have been out here to this campus repeatedly as mayor when our first responders have been attacked and when one of them was murdered. And it was the people who worked at this campus who were there for them.
What about where do you stand on reparations for Tulsa? No, not for the whole city. No. Those descendants of the domestic terrorist act that happened in your city. Where do you stand on that, Mayor, sir? We see where you stand on this, right? Where do you stand on that, sir?
So I know because I know Tulsa. I know there are so many people.
Do you know Tulsa? Sir, do you know Tulsa? Huh? Where do you stand on the CRT? We know where your governor stands. Where do you stand, sir? We know what concentration of people, what demographic is in your city, sir.
Out there right now that want to know what you can do to support the people at St. Francis
What
Health
can you
System
do
in the midst of this tragedy.
to support
I don't
FBA?
have one thing for you right now. I would ask for you to think about what the St. Francis Health System and the people that work there mean to our community, what they mean to you and your family and your neighbors.
You mean the racist healthcare system?
To provide the support and their own skill set that
From what we do know, it could be a combination both of employees and visitors.
Do we know if he was a patient?
We do not.
With everything that's
I-
happened
I
recently,
bet.
was he wearing body armor?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, he wasn't wearing no body armor. He was really mentally ill. I'm sure he was a patient trying to get help. They kicked fam out. He couldn't afford his meds. He was trying to get his meds. They was talking crazy over a $20 copay. Fam wigged out like, oh, I got nothing else to lose then. He was mentally ill. No, he didn't have on body armor. Body armor, that's premeditation. That shows a willingness to want to survive. Human instinct. That ain't crazy.
That has not been mentioned.
Chief, you said he had two weapons with him, a pistol of some sort and a long gun. Do we know which weapon or both weapons? What did he use, or do we know that yet?
It appears both weapons at one point or another were fired on the scene.
Do we have any reason to believe he
Allegedly.
was targeting anybody specifically?
We don't have that yet. Investigators, the building not long before we came down here was officially secured, and homicide and crime scene detectives were just making their way in.
They all walk like
all of
little
the
goofies.
investigation and investigative portions and those types of questions are just getting looked into right now.
Can you talk about what's on that second floor?
I don't have there is an orthopedic center, an orthopedic office there, but I'm unaware of if that occupies the whole floor or if there are other offices on the floor.
Do you know if that's where this happened, in that orthopedic center?
At least part of the scene.
Is everybody, cleared out of the closets, the cubbies, and
Yeah, they've gone floor to floor, office to office, and has gathered keys from St. Francis and have.
No, this is a real lone wolf from someone who was really mentally ill,
That job done.
just
There
trying to
was,
get some medication.
One witness, potential victim, that was found late in the process, locked in a closet. So, worth their efforts to make sure that was very methodically done.
How long was this shooter active from the first shot to him inflicted?
15 minutes.
There was a 3-minute response, so
Woo!
I don't know how long the call took to come in, but it appears as though the whole thing was a 4-minute or so time span from the time it came in to the time officers made contact, 4 to 5 minutes.
And all the gunfire occurred in that same area on the second floor, as far as we know?
The best we believe right now.
Do we know who called?
I do not.
after everything that happened last week,
World
was active
record.
shooter training refreshed on y'all's mind? And this was just almost second nature for you?
Yeah, I think that's probably fresh on everyone's minds.
World record time. Hey, there's a 911. There's a black guy here with a gun. There's a gun with a black guy. Save us. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Super PC mayo flavored cop to the rescue. Ah. with a side of I love to kill darkies. I mean, listen, ha, Johnny on the, huh. See, I thought I had got the, I still think they timetables off with his 5 minutes. I still think it was more like said call came in, you know what I'm saying, more 47, 45, 445, 447, something like that. And then shooter down, it was like 501, 502, you know. He's saying 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, let's go with what you say. Let's take you at, forget what I said then. Let's go at what you said, face value. So when some kids, y'all supposed to protect the kids, right? The kids. Kids is like number one, right? Kids, women, then men, right? No, you don't care. Ain't no action in that. You came for the action. Kill darkies. I'm on it. There's a black man with a gun. And you guys were on it. It was time to go hunt. Let's go. This is what we wait for. And then you're gonna say, we know for sure that he killed himself. It wasn't none of us. He fell on his gun.
I will say Tulsa revisits that topic regularly. So I was very happy with what we know so far regarding the response of our officers. And as the mayor mentioned, the citizens of Tulsa, I think, should be proud. This parking lot was difficult to get to for some of those officers who were here just minutes after it came in. It was difficult due to the amount of cars that had responded from all sides of town. And
the cars, it was difficult. Hold on.
I believe
it was difficult to navigate into the parking lot from all the other police that was here. All the other police, we was just butting heads, all trying to get in at the same time. You know how stupid you sound? Y'all didn't know how to merge in to get into the parking lot in a neat and orderly fashion, or just stop where you're at. Or some of y'all just stop where you're at and go run to the rescue right to go kill some darkies. Why y'all didn't do that? Why the parking lot wasn't filled when it was some babies? Huh? No, y'all was cowards then. Right. But I bet if it would have been a darkie, y'all would have went in there, boy. Let them have been some dark kids, boy. Boy. Y'all would have went in there and filleted them too. Say I'm lying.
Agency is represented here. Light Horse are here. I've been contacted by surrounding sheriff's offices, Sheriff Regalado, Sheriff Chris Elliott, offering to help cover calls for service while we dealt with the scene. So the response, I cannot overstate how proud I am of the area response to this incident.
Oh my
Do you believe he acted alone?
We're going to have a press conference tomorrow. Yep. We're still unpacking a lot of this. We can ask questions all night.
I've got a question for Dr. Robertson.
If you want to answer the question, sure you can, or else we can wait till tomorrow.
We don't know. We are still trying to confirm his identity, and the intelligence and the investigative side will take off after that.
Do we know if there's any connection?
No more questions today.
Faulkner, something like that. Something like that is dude's his name though. I definitely had it on deck, P. I ain't even gonna hold y'all, man. This I showed you what I showed you. You seen what you seen. What did we learn today, boys and girls? If it's a black shooter, you're not getting taken in alive. You're not gonna get your day in court. They come in to whack you with world's record speed to come hunt. Record speed. You want a fast response time? Say there's a black man with a gun. Watch how fast they get there. Right. So since I'm all cap, right? Watch how fast they get there. I ain't gonna hold you. Just gonna mold you, scold you, fold you. Cause I done told you about being on code now there. And I'm gonna leave you with 4 words as well. Love, peace, blessings, in the Lord. Y'all see that scrolling down on the screen? What's that? What's that? Well, go sign the petition and see what it is. Go there and look. Or you can listen to Kendra. She can tell you a thing or two too.
Be one to the family. This is Kendra Blackwood of Hot Lava Music TV and the Hot Lava Media Group. And I come to you today with an urgent call to action. And with that being said, this petition is to demand the US government immediately make anti-black racism a public health crisis is now an active campaign at change.org. And after this message I'm going to need you to go over there and show your support. Right after you smash that like and subscribe if you have not already. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications. It doesn't cost you a thing. Now, this is a petition to demand cash reparations for foundational Black Americans addressing 2 critical components. So what is anti-Black racism? Anti-Black racism is defined here as policies and practices rooted in American institutions such as government, finance, education, healthcare, and justice that mirror and reinforce economic deprivation, racially targeted laws, beliefs, attitudes, prejudice, stereotyping and/or discrimination toward foundational Black Americans. What is a public health crisis, you ask? Well, a health crisis or public health crisis is a difficult situation or complex health system that affects humans in one or more geographic areas, from a particular locality to encompass the entire planet. Health crises generally have significant impacts on community health, loss of life, and on the economy. And ultimately the solution to the problem, it is imperative that the United States government declare anti-Black racism a public health crisis for foundational Black Americans. In 2020, as a community, Asian Americans experienced only 287 hate crimes nationwide. However, FBA in the same year suffered 2,871 reported hate crimes. As we know, those are just the reported accounts according to the F.B.I. As foundational Black Americans, we know that the number should reach in the billions daily. This resulted in a 94-1 unanimous decision to pass into law an anti-Asian hate crime provision to make Asian a protected class. With anti-Black racism being thousands of times more prevalent and permeating within the fabric of America, we ask that you sign this petition to say we are sick of studies and commissions to study forums and meaningless holidays and nothing burger symbolic gestures. We demand the U.S. government to urgently disperse the first initial reparations cash payment of $20 trillion to the surviving descendants of American chattel slavery. AKA, cut the damn check. And I mean that. Jack. On my ancestors for real for real. I proudly digress. Anyway. Check out the new Slave Patrol documentary. Pull up season on you sucker MCs. Don't forget to join us on Patreon. I got 4 words for you. Go grab a shirt. And love, peace, blessings and Meloa. Be one.
Music TV.